On April 15, 1912, the RMS Titanic set sail from Southampton, England with over 2,200 passengers and crew on board. Among them were some of the most influential people of the time, including famous millionaires, celebrities, and politicians. John Jacob Astor and his wife Madeline Talmadge Astor were some of the wealthiest passengers, businessmen, and socialites of the time. Benjamin Guggenheim, American businessman, was also part of the prestigious list of passengers, along with Isidore and Ida Strauss, the owners of Macy's department store. Some of the biggest celebrities of the Edwardian era were also aboard, such as author W.T. Stead, Major White Star Line shareholder Colonel John B. Thayer, and musician Wallace Hartley. Notable figures from the world of finance included International Mercantile Marine Co. Board Vice President Charles Hayes and his family, financier John Thayer and his son Jack, and J. Bruce Ismay, managing director of the White Star Line. Notable occupants on the Titanic included Major Archibald Butt, Private Secretary to U.S. President William Howard Taft, and lyricist and playwright Tim Sullivan. Rosa Abbott, Amanita Pallasino Pellegrini, and Camelia Renee were among the first-class female passengers. Jennifer Dawson, Mabel Fortune, Miss Elizabeth Nye, and Georgina Lassiter were other prominent women. Second-class passengers included miners Alfred Rush and Francis Davies, musicians Sidney Cooper and Leon Kosminski, and Algernon Barkworth. Among the hundreds of third-class passengers were Alam, Barazirina, and Maria Grazia a Vivito. Bertha Mulvihill, Ellen Bowen, and George Widener were some of the third-class passengers from the United States. The ship also housed 4 stowaways on board, including William F. Wood and his wife. The other 2 included James Cormack, a miner, and Patrick Coffey, who wanted to go to New York to start a new life. John Collins was the oldest passenger on board, while 2-month-old Melvina Dean was the youngest passenger. Member of the brigantines Charles Juffin and Petty Officer E.H. Jones aided crew members during the disaster. Master-at-Arms Albert Pierce was reprimanded by a steward for not taking in the Titanic's lifeboats. George Dennick, a member of the Titanic's kitchen staff, was later commended for his bravery in helping younger passengers in evacuation efforts. Fireman Fred Barrett, stoker Hod Edward Bewley, and lookout Frederick Fleet were some of the most skilled crew members on board. Alfred Crawford was the first casualty of onboard disaster when he slipped during launching of the lifeboats. Edward Smith, captain of the RMS Titanic, was the second victim of the tragedy, dying in the destruction of the vessel. Frederick Hoisted, first assistant engineer, remained on the bridge at the time of the sinking. Fourth Officer Joseph Boxhall and Chief Officer Henry Wild were in charge of manning the ship's lifeboats. Wireless operator Jack Phillips and his junior assistant Harold Bride sent out distress calls before the sinking. Seaman George Henry Cave K worked to the end on board the sinking Titanic, while Irish steward Lawrence Beasley was one of the first to evacuate.